WWDC, Apple's biggest and best event of the year, is just days away, nay, hours away. And instead of telling you everything that's happening because other tech YouTubers care about that, we don't care about everything. We just want to know what matters. So in typical front page tech fashion, here's what matters. Event ruined. For those of you playing along at home, this will be the 35th WWDC to grace our faces. And first of all, wow, I feel extremely old and death is closing in. Just a matter of time now. But also, the things we're expecting to be announced here match just how special this particular dub-dub feels. And by the way, I get a lot of comments being like, why is he saying dub-dub? What does dub-dub mean? WWDC? Is that too many to say? Dub-dub. Okay? First up on our list, and probably your list as well, of course, is iOS 18. Now, we just covered a video of legit features that Apple has already announced early, accessibility features for iOS 18 that Apple has announced early, as they do every single year, but there's a bunch of stuff they left out, stuff that you aren't supposed to know. iOS 18 is poised to be particularly exciting because Apple has been leaving breadcrumbs on top of breadcrumbs for months, leading to the big star of the show this year, AI. In fact, Apple will really be appling it up here because the marketing angle on this is that it's AI, but AI actually stands for Apple Intelligence. Okay, wow. I hate everything. AI is all over the place, and it's going to be no different for Apple this year, but in iOS 18 is where it's going to feel the most impactful. Now listen, we've seen many anticipated uses of AI in iOS 18, some conceptual stuff, things that people are hoping and praying to the Lord for, but some of the most realistic things are improvements to Siri. That's it! That's all I need. Siri's going to be improved? And this is for free. Even if I have to pay, I'll pay. You want paid? I'll pay you. Of course, we've been hearing Siri is going to be better every year since forever, but this year we mean business. Large language models being incorporated here that will allow you to have more of a natural conversation with Siri. Hopefully she or he will be a lot more contextually aware, or in this case, contextually aware at all would be nice. We can also expect Siri to be further integrated into messages. So, you know, our lovable little idiot can more easily respond to messages and even suggest responses for you. Because it's 2024 and like actually responding to our friends with our own words is hard. Speaking of messages, we're hearing about other cool features like text effects to bring focus to specific words, and even a clever way to generate your own AI emojis based on provided prompts. Perhaps the coolest, most useful change coming would be the ability to finally be able to schedule text messages to send later and not now. That way I don't look like an animal when I send texts at 4 a.m. We also might be getting AI-generated Apple Music playlists customized to each person, even based on your mood. Oh, also, maybe the most powerful feature, and it's not for all of us, but for you developers out there, you're gonna love it, AI assistant coding in Xcode? Honestly, I could go on forever. Apple fully integrating AI into their OS will take so many things to the next level that we would probably be here for, I don't know, an entire Zolotech video amount. So listen, we gotta move on. And you'll be happy we did, because another thing that is on the WWDC bingo board of things is customization for the home screen. And I mean like for real this time, like actually not quite Android, but like if you got Android at the Dollar Tree customization, that's what we're getting. We're expecting options for what could be full control of app placement, so you can have blank spaces on the screen. Wow, how innovative. Alongside the blank spaces will be the option to like theme your icons, but maybe not the way you think, because we're hearing that you'll be able to, I'm sorry, hang on. Because we're hearing that you'll be able to change the color of the icons. Oh, God, Apple. See, here's the thing. You might be excited, and you're allowed to be excited. I'll give you that. But I just want to make sure everyone understands we're all on the same page, everyone on this call on the same page. Apple has us in a position to where 18 years later, the 18th iteration of iOS, they're going to allow you to modify the color of icons, and we think that's a feature. Like they're going to talk about that at an event. They're going to take up minutes talking about that. You're not at all worried? Many of the built-in native apps within iOS will also see some major updates, like notes, photos, mail, and more. Really, wherever they can shove AI into holes, they're gonna put it into holes. Speaking of native apps, how about a new standalone passwords app from Apple for both iOS and macOS? And fellas, ladies, you too, maybe the biggest update for this year's iOS 18 isn't really even for iOS users. It's RCS in messages. Oh wow, oh whoa, so cool, so great. That is a revolutionary thing. If somehow you live under a rock or in Arkansas or something, RCS, Rich Communication Services, greatly improves the ability to communicate with non-iPhone people. You know, the green ones, the green people. Many of the features that you love in messages, like high-res photos and video sharing, read receipts, real-time typing indicators, and even messaging over Wi-Fi, will be available to all of your family and friends on the dark side. And even though Apple or Andrew Edwards would never admit it, RCS is directly thanks to the EU. You can thank the EU and their love for forcing laws upon Apple for getting RCS on iPhone. So thanks, Europe. You really dapped us up over here. There is still so much to talk about. Like I said, Dub real big this year. But first, we gotta go to our sponsor. But hang on, you can watch that, and then we'll be right back. If you watch, I'll give you $10. Guys, listen, I don't think this show or really anything we make could survive without our friends over at Motion VFX. They have helped us take our editing to the next level. I've been using them for so long, I am thrilled to have them finally on board as a sponsor. We are talking top-of-the-line motion assets, graphic templates, LUTs, full resources packs, literally everything you could possibly need to take your videos to that next level. And don't tell them this, but using any of their products feels so easy that it just feels like cheating. Drag and drop, fully customizable, and compatible with every major editing suite. Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, After Effects, all work seamlessly with Motion VFX. And of course, they didn't stop there. They just launched Cine Studio, absolutely redefining what Final Cut Pro is capable of with cutting-edge editing tools crafted to give you the most creative freedom possible. Motion VFX has so many templates to choose from, they are a game changer, and honestly, no other service even comes close to what they're offering. Be sure to shop around, but don't do it without our special link, which is down in the description below for a special offer. But shh, it's a secret. And of course, a huge thanks to Motion VFX for sponsoring this episode. Okay, so here's the thing. I wouldn't blame you for forgetting, but Apple doesn't just make iPhones. There's also this really cute small segment of products called, the macOS 15 will definitely be showing up here, so another spicy update. But you know what I just realized? macOS is kinda great. Like, out of all of the OSs that Apple ships with these products, there's a bunch of changes that I really want with iOS. There's a bunch of changes that I really want with iPad OS, even watchOS, but macOS? That is so polished. The real question though, of course, every year, what is Apple going to name it? Currently, we have macOS Sonoma, which is the name of a place, but also sounds like something that a doctor told you that's not good news. And since they're all California-based names, Mac Rumors has mentioned a few possibilities for us. Things like Redwood, Sequoia, that word, Myanmar, or even macOS Grizzly is an option that they could use, but we all hope they don't. Really, the name, who cares? No, I don't care. Do you care? Let's move on. Just like iOS 18, we can expect macOS to get some type of AI integration, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot of it. It just depends on how much we're going to be double dipping from what we're getting in iOS 18, like AI-assisted Xcode writing, Apple Music playlists, that stuff. Or we could get something hype like ChatGPT-ish features and integration. Really, now is the time to pull the ripcord, Tim. Give us the goods. I wouldn't say that macOS isn't getting the proper attention it deserves here, but like I said, out of all of the OSs, this one is the less needy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. There's also a litany of other software updates we should all expect. Announcements for like watchOS 11, visionOS 2, and oh my goodness, I can barely speak it. By God, may we see updates for tvOS 18? I know for watchOS, I'm expecting a lot of Siri integration there. being that's kind of how you mostly communicate with your Apple Watch. Oh, and hey, while we're at it, you know the only way I can communicate with my HomePods is through Siri? Can we make that less terrible, please? It's so dumb. My HomePods are so dumb. They can't do a thing for me. They can't turn the lights on. They can't set an alarm. Nothing. Useless. Okay, the big one. I know you're all wondering, what about hardware? Well, I'm happy to tell you, nope. Probably no hardware. In fact, I would venture to say absolutely no hardware. I know you may be disappointed by that, but really, I don't know how. Every year, I don't know how everyone's surprised. It's WWDC, Developer Conference, Worldwide Developer Conference. It's all software focused. So if there's no hardware, don't tell your grandma that I hurt your feelings.